Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. Today I'm just going to paint a whimsical picture using these lovely Kuretake watercolors I've had for a little while. You'll notice that there are some that are being used more than others, and I do have them swatched out here. This set is a beautiful little set. This is a set of 24 colors, and I found that when using them they don't feel the same as your traditional, I guess, watercolors. These come from Japan and they use a lot of different binders and so forth in their watercolors over there, so they do go on a little bit differently. They're still mixed with water. In fact, where am I going to put these? I might just put these over here. I don't feel like I'm in the center of the table here at the moment. And I'm just going to go straight from the box today in making the colors. Sorry, I'm going to move these over here. So I'm just going to start by creating a wash over the top. Now before I do get started, I do want to put in a thin layer of masking fluid, just because I want to have the house white, and I'm going to put in some flowers down the bottom as well. So I'll just get this going first. I might just pour a little bit out on the... Don't need too much. It stinks, this stuff. I don't know if you've ever used it before, but yes, it does have quite a smell to it. So I'm just going to paint out, there's a hair, the house here, and then wait for it to dry so that we can start applying washes over the top. I love this stuff, the masking fluid I'm talking about here. I do like it for blotting out areas that you want to come back in later and do a little bit of texture with. I think that's a lot of fun to use, and it's probably one of the items that I use most often when I am watercoloring. Alright, so down here I'm just going to kind of make a few little flower type shapes. If you're hearing a little bit of noise outside with the wind and so on, I actually live in Hobart, Tasmania, and we're having one of those days where it is, the weather is all over the shop. My husband's actually gone out to watch the Sheffield Shield cricket. I wouldn't be surprised if my phone goes off soon with a please come pick us up. It was meant to be sunny this afternoon. Right, so just putting a few they don't have to really look like anything. We'll dress them up a little bit later, and I'll use some other colors over the top. And just for fun, I'm just going to put in some dots as well. You might not be able to see this, but the layer or the drawing that I've got, it's like rolling hills, and each hill is going to be a little bit different colour. Just add some dots down here. And when this dries, and after the paint has totally dried, you can just use your thumb to remove the masking fluid, and it should come away quite easily. I might even be a bit sneaky and just do some of the branches of the tree here as well. Maybe if I do two, because I've got enough masking fluid there. And I think that should be enough. If you are using masking fluid, make sure you give your brushes a really good soapy water wash and get all the gunk out of them, because once it's set in there, it's going to be very hard to get out again. Just there we go, got it. Sorry, just pulling it out of the brush there. Alright, so once that has dried off, then you can come in and you can start adding some colours in here. So I think that I'm going to start with, let's have a look here. Some pale blue. In fact, I probably should have gone over those pencil lines, but never mind. Just rub them out a little bit more so that they don't get in the way of the picture. They're there to stay now. Okay, so I'm going to be using a few blues and things in this one. Let's get a rag to wipe my brush off on. Okay, so the next colour now, normally I would wait for the other layer to dry, but I think I can get away with it here because the bottom of that was really quite dry already. But if you were going down and you're creating painting something like this, you would have to make sure that this section is dried off before you put the next one on, otherwise you're going to end up with some watercolor wash coming through. You get some bleeding between colors. Okay, so I've done alright here. Oops, cat's just got that. The cat's walked in to say hello. Got the camera hooked on a cupboard door that she's just decided to use to scratch. I've moved out to, I guess it's like a little outdoor granny flat type arrangement that we've got here at our house. And I moved out here just the other weekend, and I will show you a little bit more about what this space looks like in the future. I've got a little bit more work to do to set it up. Right in front of me I've got a huge bed that I need to pull down, so I'm just making some space. Just cleaning up that area up there too. I was getting some funny shapes coming out of that, so we'll reblend. This used to be my craft room, and then we were going to renovate it, so I moved everything back inside, and then we ended up renovating another room. Anyway, it's all been a storage, long story, and I'm finally getting it back out again to use, which is lovely. I'm enjoying that. I might go with this one. Just pulling colours up here. Come down to this section so that other one gets a bit of time to dry off. The colours are really, really pretty, and obviously the less water you use, the more opaque they're going to be. What are you doing, Peg? You must be getting hungry, are you? Yeah, you getting hungry. Lovely. Lovely jobblies. While that's doing that, I'll see if I can pick up a bit of the green and come back up here. will that cloudy? You know what? I don't mind that edge not being as defined as what it needs to be, because it will add to the feature of the tree if it does bleed a little bit. It looks like that squall has just gone past. We're getting some sunlight kind of trying to creep out here again. Not that you can see that. You know what? I don't know if I like that blooming. I might just leave that, come back to it. Give this one a bit of a dry off with the heat gun. So I'm just going to speed the footage up here as I go ahead and fix up the sections. I did wait till that green on the tree dried and gave it a more defined edge. I thought that looked a whole lot better for the whole picture, or the look I was going for. I then wanted to incorporate some extra colours as well, so I went for this red. Not really quite happy about that, but I'll come back and fix it later. So just painting off all of the different sections, putting little bright areas in as well. And like I said, making sure that I'm drying off between layers so that I get some really defined colour. Okay, dry time. Right, now I'm purely experimenting here now. Down the bottom with just layering some colours. I've heard people who've used these before say that they don't layer all that well, so I'm mindful of that. I'll put in some darker green as well. That wasn't dark. Let's go this one. Alright, I think we've got the impression of some flowers there. Maybe. I don't want to push it too much. I think it could be time to peel these away. There we go. So there's one. It just comes off easily, as you can see that. Just pulling it up. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this part here is all good to go too. And if you do have a lot of bits like I do, a soft brush is a great way. Try a soft brush. Just to move them off. I'm not going to do the flowers just yet because I just painted over that with some green. So I'm going to head back up the top here and do the house. And I'm going to grab some white and make it creamy colour. And I'll grab a little bit more of that mustard just to define the lines. All right. And let that dry fully. I just noticed, because I put my big finger on this before, I might just see if I can reactivate a little and just fix this up. I was impatient and I was tapping it to see if it was dry, and my finger went in it and it spread all over the place, so I just fixed that off camera. That's why part of the sky is a little bit darker up around here as well. Okay, house is dry. Now it's time to put the little roof on. So the colour for the roof, let's see. Okay, that's looking a bit cute. Now, hang on. I need to come down a little bit. All right. So let's pull these flowers off. Now, because I've got this purpley colour up the top, I'm going to bring that down into these flowers as well, just to balance out the picture a little bit. So I think I'm just going to use this nice red colour for the flowers. Pink colour, I should say. There we go. And I quite like the white left in that. Now, I'm going to put the Kuretake away, but we're not finished. So I'll let that just dry before I put the lid back on. Because to finish this off, we're going to use some acrylic markers or Posca pens. And this is where you can start having a little bit of fun with some of the markers that you might have. It doesn't really matter, you just go with whatever floats your boat. Not all pens were created equal in Posca world. And you can go ahead and continue creating lots of marks. On your piece of artwork. And don't forget the trees. So I'm going to continue on and make some marks and I'll come back. Alright, here we go. I had a bit of a disaster with this tree here. All the colour started to run, so I ended up using some Himi gouache and popped it over the edge. But this is the finished piece of play in the scrapbook or sketchbook today. So let's just peel off the tape and get a sense of what this one actually looks like all framed up. My earlier version of this didn't work. I'll show you that as well. But this is today's piece. I really like how the flowers came out today. I love that white look around the edge of them. And I just played around with some Poscas and some different textures and things like that. But if I skip back to the one I tried, the other day, okay, you can see very big difference. If you have a good close look, colours were running everywhere. It's because I didn't wait for the layers to dry. So waiting for the layers to dry makes a big impact on the colour intensity. And also for the layering on each part. So there you go, there is a cute little picture today. I'm having a little bit of fun doing these types of sceneries and I'm really enjoying it, and it's nice to just be out and about in the craft room with some paint, having a good time. So I hope you have had a good time as well watching this video today, and I will catch you in the next one.